DJ Mwendo, of course, live at JahRock'n. We here, ThaKidd Jopp. We were talking, you know, before our break, we were just talking about how your your first exposure, Christian rap. Brother Milton, I guess my twin that I haven't met yet. Brother Milton gave you the Lecrae CDs, the Trip Lead, the Truth joint. And we were just talking about the impact that had on your life. At what point did you actually start rapping? And what year was this when did you get those when they first came out, I guess? Or was Brother Milton like a couple years late in giving you those?
See, I don't even remember when they came out to this day. I just know he gave them all three to me at one time. I got saved probably around 2007. Was when August 28th, 2007 was the day I was talking to an assistant pastor on the balcony. And it was just like a really, really deep conversation about Christ, man. He just kind of just told me, like, you know, surrender your will to the Lord. Yeah,
really broke it down for you.
It really
and so he gave you the CD shortly after that, brother.
Yeah, probably like, man, I mean, this dude, he jumped on me quickly. Like, it was probably like maybe 2 to 3 months after I got saved.
Yeah, those were still new. Those were still new at that point.
Oh, yeah. He gave me all three of them. They still had brand new.
Yeah.
So
how did you, when did you start rapping for the Lord, man?
I started rapping for the Lord probably, I want to say, probably a year after I got saved. Maybe a year. I think
so. It's like 08.
Yeah, it was like 08. It was like 08 was when I started rapping for the Lord. I mean, I would try to like mess around here and there, try to write songs for the Lord, but I just kind of like, I wasn't really feeling it too much. Yeah. But I knew I wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? So later on, I just started really taking it more serious.
Yeah. So I think the one thing that kind of brought you to a lot of people's attention was when you did the song about Lecrae. And that's why I thought it was interesting that was one of the first CDs that you got was after the music stops, because obviously you did the song over the Praying For You beat. Did you have any indication that it would make as big a splash? Because some people, I mean, me and you have talked about this a number of times, you know, so I know your heart in this. But some people looked at that situation and said, man, he did that on purpose. He was trying to get attention.
True.
You know, he wasn't really concerned about Lecrae. He was really trying to jump his own self up.
True. All right, so what questions do you want me to answer?
Oh, I guess I didn't ask you a question. Was that the case? What was your heart in making that record?
Oh, my heart in making the record was simply, you know, well, first of all, you know, I listened to Lecrae for a long time when I first got saved. I mean, I followed his whole like path of music. Yeah. And more so, he stuck with me. It was like the truth, kind of like he's a dope artist. Don't get me wrong, but he kind of like didn't stick with me as much as the truth and Lecrae did.
Sure.
Trip Lead didn't, and so. And then later on, you know, just Lecrae, like it was like the truth. I stopped listening to the truth. Went back to his old stuff, but Lecrae just kind of stuck with me the whole way. Yeah. And so, yeah, man. When I started to, you know, I started to notice some things, man, just that weren't really feeling right to me. As far as like, some things I felt like he was switching up on, and so what really took place was I was like, yo, maybe I'm tripping. You know, let me just take a chill pill, sit back. And I was trying to really try to realize, like, why am I affected by it? Like, why does it bother me? Like, what does that have to do with me? It's his life. But in all honesty, man, when I came off from the streets, like, he was one of the main rappers I listened to. So he kind of, in a way, like, he was helping me grow. Obviously, it was Christ through him, but his music was really speaking into my life, yo. Yeah. And so I was like, man, you know, when he started doing things, that I felt like he was switching up on it. It kind of like threw me off. Yeah. And so. Other people started saying the same things I was feeling, and I was like, you know, maybe I'm not crazy like I thought I was. And so I decided to say, hey, the best thing I could do is reach out to him. Yeah. That's all I can do. I don't know him in person. And so I reached out to him a few times. Said, hey, man, you know, what's going on? I noticed you're switching up here and there. And he would refer me to like Tim Keller books. And so I was like, you know, I don't want to read Tim Keller books. I want to just hear from you. Like, I want to hear your heart. As if somebody was asking me, I like to tell them my heart. And granted, he doesn't know me personally, so I understand that, like, he may think I'm coming at him from another angle, and I get that. And so I was just like, hey, man, I'm not one of those guys who's like judgmental and judging your motives. I just really want to hear your heart because, you know, I've been listening to your music for so long. It's impacted my life in a way, and I just want to know your heart. And I said, I understand, you know, you have management, you got to be careful about things, but I just want to hear your heart behind everything. And he's just kind of like, you know, didn't want to tell me nothing. And I was like, okay. And so for me,
This communication was like email, Twitter.
This communication was on Twitter.
Okay.
It was Twitter and it was Instagram later, but it was Twitter more so.
Yeah.
And so when I asked him for his email probably like 2 to 3 times, he didn't refer me to anybody or him. And so I just kind of like sat back. I just let it slide for a while, right? And so I sat back and I started watching other people as the time was progressing.
Yeah.
Talk about things that he's doing that I was feeling like he was doing. And I was like, man, yo, people feel the same way I feel. And then I heard stories about other cats who try to talk about him, just kind of address him. And so he kind of like pushed it to the side. And I was like, man, this is really affecting people. And I was like, how can, this thing be brought into the light where people can understand the things that you do can affect others, whether you think it does or not, it does. And so I said, you know what? I'm gonna write a song. And the song wasn't really like a diss like some people claim it is. It was more like a, hey, I'm trying to talk to you. And so I wrote the song Over the Praying For You beat. And I had that song for almost 9 to 10 months, just sitting on it in my room, on my laptop, already recorded. Didn't put it off for like 10 months. I'm just sitting there like, man, I don't know if I want.
Why'd you choose that beat though?
Well, I chose
of all the beats, because I almost feel like that almost added to the whole situation.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why I chose the beat was because I felt like people would hear it. So if somebody was to say, like, say you put out a track and somebody was like trying to talk to you through this, like, how can I explain? Like, say somebody was trying to reach out to you, maybe you won't be as receptive if it was just like a regular beat. But
sure.
if it was your beat, you can like, yo, that's my track. And so other people can like, yo, that's Lecrae's beat. Yeah. Let me see what he's saying. Like, now that his beat caught my attention, like, some people are like, yo, why is he using Lecrae's beat anyway?
Yeah.
That don't make any sense. And then people are going to be more inclined to listening just because it's his beat. So that's just how I was thinking. And so, yeah, man, that's how I thought. And I was just really trying to, process everything. I was trying to think of the best way to get him and others to actually hear this and bring it to the light, because I felt like it was being swept under the rug for so long. And I was like, yo, if somebody has to take the heat or take a shot for it, I mean, I don't got nothing to lose, because, like, I'm a believer in Christ. I'm a brother in the Lord. I mean, nobody knows me. So it's like, what's going to happen? So that's what I did. I prayed about it for so long. And then one day I said, you know what? I've been praying on this thing for like 9 months. I've been reaching out to him and been getting no response. I'm going to put the song out. Now, I didn't think it would do anything. I promise you. I was sitting in my basement room. I was renting the room out. I was laying on my bed, and I just was like laying there half asleep. And I said, I'm going to put the song up. And so I went on YouTube and I put it up. And that was it. I woke up the next morning and boom, just everything went crazy. Like, people started contacting me. Yeah. I mean, I put it up. I shared it on Facebook. And when I shared it, it wasn't that nobody really listened to it at first. My brother in the Lord named Jovan McKenzie, who, wrote Lecrae letters previously, he shared it. Yep. And when he shared it, it started going crazy. And then everybody who tuned into his page, they shared it. And it just started, it was a chain reaction. Yo, check out this cat judging Lecrae. Check out this guy judging this guy's motives. Oh, what a ignorant, just seeking for attention. It was just all of that, man. It's just everybody just piling on top of me. Nobody trying to reach out to me, trying to get to know my heart. Just like, yo, man, you judgmental, man. I'm like, cool, you judging me by saying I'm judgmental. You know what I'm saying? But it was just like a bunch of crazy stuff. So my initial reaction was like, you know what? Everything that happened was everything I expected. I didn't expect it to go like that, but the responses was what I expected. And so my heart was more prepared for it, but it was just overwhelming how big it got. I wasn't prepared for that. Yeah. The way that people were emailing me saying harsh things about me, man, it was like, wow, what the body of Christ.
Even when it was getting on the blogs and stuff, you weren't even sending it there.
The thing is, till this day, I don't even know some of the blogs it's been on. I haven't. All I know is that it went on Rapzilla. Sure. I was in the Mac store with my boy Will from Christ-Centric, and he said, look at your phone. Rapzilla tweeted it, and then it just went crazy. And so I was sitting there like he was trying to get his computer fixed, and I'm sitting there going through my mentions like, man, this is ridiculous, man. People is just going crazy all day. And I'm getting emails, I'm getting friend requests. I mean, even some cats from Reach, like KB friend requested me. And like it was just like, man, what is all this about, man? So like it was overwhelming for me. And Will knew, like, man, it looks like it's weighing you down, brother. And I was like, it is, because we're the body of Christ. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, so it was like a sensitive situation for me.
Where it's much more than music. It's